Since you're here, hi everybody.
Hi.
We're fully funded.
Hi, how are you today? We're fully funded.
Hey, we're fully funded.
How did we
Start
get to a
every
fully funded?
conversation that way.
I think so.
That's how we just need to walk around the office
Absolutely.
from now on today.
We're not on the clock right now. We're 2 minutes early. This is BTS. We're not talking anything serious. Daggerheart is not a serious
Daggerheart's
game until
not
1:30.
serious.
So we're just hanging out and chilling.
Daggerheart is not serious until 1:30.
Until 1:30 p.m.
And then it becomes very serious.
Guys, only one more minute. Is there anything unserious you want to say?
The flicker fly is my favorite boy.
The goodest boy.
It's not serious because you said it before 1:30.
How can we believe you?
So what you're saying is for another 60 seconds, it's all takesies backsies
Yeah.
while we say it right
Yeah.
now? Uh-oh.
I don't have.
I don't have anything that's not going to get me
I
fired.
stand behind everything.
Wizard is not my favorite
Oh.
What? Why would you say that?
because I'm unserious.
But I'm seriously offended.
No, that's okay. You're allowed to have your favorites. You know why? Because now you can buy them as class packs.
Hey.
That's marketing.
Look at the transition.
But it's
really
not
does that-
1:30 yet.
Oh man,
But you said you stood by
I
everything.
can't
You're fine.
believe this. I gotta be a
Say
strawberry. Strawberries can't even
It's
talk.
1:30. Rogue's
Okay.
the best.
I love wizards.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to my literal office. I've created this little nook for us to be able to do a little bit.
You hung this on the wall?
I hung this on a wall. This is our lovely little backdrop from the launch party.
There's actually people standing up there holding it right now. You can't see them. They're out of frame. But
There was a joke earlier in Discord that we have PAs around the office who act as live fear trackers, and someone else was like, well, Jeremy and Chris have to earn their keep somehow, and I
Yeah.
was like, could you imagine?
Fear daddies.
Fear
all the
daddies.
time.
just
That's just
wandering
their
the
job.
halls.
They're in the vents.
Always in the vents.
Can we track our fear in office?
Do you mean the fear that we feel in office?
Yeah, it's just like fear as like people.
Like a fear jar?
Yeah.
Like a
We
swear
can-
jar?
yeah,
but is
yeah.
it, we had during development. We
We had a sorry jar.
had a sorry jar
We absolutely had a sorry jar.
where during it was what the last 2 weeks
Yeah.
before we finished the book.
My house.
But we
Yeah,
would
no.
only put the snacks that we were eating in it, like King's Cup, but for snacks.
Oh
to give
yeah,
away
that's
your
right.
snacks.
You had to give away your snacks if you said sorry too many times, or if we caught you saying sorry
It
because
got very full,
yeah.
very fast.
So
But today it would be empty because we're fully funded.
not sorry, sorry, not sorry.
No, not sorry at all. Yeah, this has been, it's really exciting. I know that Darcy is out there somewhere having worked very hard on the Kickstarter to put all
Thank
this
you,
together.
Darcy.
Thank you, Darcy.
Thank you, everybody. There's so many people that worked on this.
yeah.
Thank you, you.
We've got Sam and Brooke who've been working on all of the video stuff. Alex Hill who's been helping on the back end for all of our questions in our lovely community.
Yes.
Thanks to you, we're going a little rogue. We're seeing if this is something that we're going a little.
Would you like to go rogue?
We're going to go rogue.
Do we have the packs?
We have the packs
What?
here.
I didn't even know.
Yeah, these are the mock-ups that are made for the class packs. This is something that, Spencer, I think that you talked about one of the first 2 or 3 weeks that I had joined back in 2022.
Was doing some kind of class pack or some kind of pack with cards.
To be able
yeah,
to
for
make
sure.
sure that there's a pick up and play element of it,
Yeah.
right? So many years later, here we are, and we've got a bunch of folks who've decided that this is something that they want to try out, which is
Yeah.
really exciting.
It's very cool.
We're collecting questions
Yes.
from YouTube as well as other places. Matt is on his way here. We'll be coming in hot. But for now, we just wanted to start off by saying thank you so much for continuing to be a part of this awesome community of Daggerheart.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say I don't think this wasn't expected to be a funding
Nope.
to be a funding thing. So
This is the second one that I've done so far, because the other one was the fireside chat
Oh,
with
right.
Matt, where we sold out of
We sold out
Daggerheart
of
on
Daggerheart.
Amazon in a day.
So-
Wait, so you're saying that when we have videos and you're in them, we'll sell out of stuff?
There's
That's not
data.
what
There's
you
data.
said.
I'll
There's
write that
data
down.
says
Okay.
things,
Yep.
and that's a conclusion that you could draw.
Remember, friends, correlation is causation.
I don't think it is.
No.
But yes, no, it's really exciting. And I think that the really exciting thing, we're going to get to your burning questions, but
Yeah.
just to know that this is a direction that we can explore, because we've got some things on the void that can
well,
find a home. We've
yeah.
got,
And I think that there's there's a big conversation we've been having about like what do we offer now.
Yeah.
Because we're in development on so much stuff, and we've been diving into what people want, and this isn't, nothing here is new, but it's a different product for a different purpose.
Yeah.
And so we're still in development on new stuff, and there's new stuff that
What's the purpose, Spencer?
the purpose. Well, we're going to talk about the purpose.
Yeah,
I think that's
I'm being
part
so
of the
serious.
thing is
I'm
that-
seriously
Do
asking.
you want to jump in?
Yeah,
to
let's
that?
jump
Okay.
in. So I think here, I'll jump over to that one question.
Yeah.
We'll
We had a question. I wanted to cue.
Yeah, it's
I wanted to
perfect.
cue the question.
Who is this product geared towards? Who are you hoping picks up a class pack? What are you
Yeah.
hoping is going to drive somebody to want to engage with that? Not necessarily versus, but maybe in tandem with the Daggerheart core pack.
Yeah, well, class packs were a thing that from the very beginning we talked about offering, and one of the big pieces that we were always worried about with Daggerheart, especially because it approaches, the fantasy space from more than just a book place. And I think a lot of people are used to just going and picking up a book.
Yep.
And so there was a lot of talk on our whole team, people that aren't here too, that was like, do we offer the book and the cards separate? Do we put them together? And we decided fairly early on that we never wanted people to be confused about what they needed to buy to be able to play Daggerheart.
We had how many meetings did we have where we were talking about, could we separate the Ancestry and Community cards from a domain deck pack?
God.
We had so many
many meetings.
whiteboard moments.
So many meetings.
And so much of it was like, well, because we always, and I think that this team is really good about doing this. We go
Yeah.
back to what are our pillars? Like,
Yeah.
we always build a tripod. What are the three legs that hold up the whole value proposition of what we're trying to build? And it was easy onboarding, pick up and play, a lower entry point into trying Daggerheart
Yeah.
out. And I always could see a moment where, like, some kid walked into the game store, they grabbed a pack, they got home, they didn't have what they needed to play. And
Yeah.
I never wanted to have that be the experience.
Yeah.
So this is very much geared towards people who are interested in being able to have a closed environment of a class. And it gives you ancestors and communities so that you can have what you want to be able to play everything from level 1 to 10, which is a whole life cycle of a class in
Yeah.
Daggerheart. But I never wanted that person to get home and be like, oh, I need one more thing, right? Which is one of the reasons why
Right. So in staying with that on core, right? Like that's how we approach core, which is like, if you buy the thing, you buy the thing. People aren't ever going to go and pick up a product, we aren't ever going to go pick up core Daggerheart and then not have what they need
Yeah.
to play. And so class packs, I mean, we talked about doing domain packs where you would pick up 2 and then an ancestry pack and you
There
would
was
get
a heritage
3
pack
of them.
for a
There's a
minute.
heritage, that's what it was, a heritage pack, and so you could like pick and pull all 3, but at the end of the day, like one of the big focuses for us on this product in specific was how do we support local game stores with Daggerheart? It's specifically like, how do we get people there walking in their friendly local game stores, giving their friendly local game stores money for a thing.
In this economy, let's keep friendly local game stores
Right.
friendly and local.
And game stores. How do we get them in there and have them go and pick up what they need, sit down, and be ready to play Daggerheart?
And not know anything.
And not know
Because in the period that we were looking at heritage packs, you have to know what a heritage is. And you have to know that you need it. Versus a class pack, you just have to be interested.
Yeah.
And so you can pick it based off the picture and you will still have everything you need.
So I think, and sort of to elaborate on that, I think the audience for this product, therefore, is actually people who the core audience that we were sort of seeing in the longevity of this project, the long-term view of this project is people who don't own core, but want to pick up something for less than it would cost them for the full rule book and cards together, and just get a taste of Daggerheart. And then I think also for people like me or like you, sorry, I bumped my mic. People like you and me who want to like send them. I know you have a story about
My Daggerheart is mine.
Right.
I'm not breaking up my Daggerheart. My cards are my cards.
Over my dead body
over
will we be
Rowan's
breaking
dead
up.
body, I'm not breaking up my cards. But like my mom is really interested in playing a rogue, and she has friends like Mary and Marianne, all these lovely
Mary and Marianne.
Mary,
Yeah.
my mother Marianne, Mary,
Uh-huh.
and Marianne.
And then also Marianne.
It's going to be the Holy Trinity.
Of Marys, actually.
Marys.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna send class packs to them. I want them to be able to have
Yeah.
an onboarding experience that's like, here's everything you need, and the PDF that's just gonna run you through, how to onboard for a character, and you don't need the whole book.
Elise, can I rapid fire us through some more practical questions
Get
of
there.
which you are the absolute expert?
And I'm going to go check the chat.
Please.
Oh,
I
check
also
that
downloaded YouTube while we were here, so we also have a little sneaky
What?
chat over here.
Inception.
I know
Sneaky
it's
chat.
sneaky chat.
I've been resisting the urge to do that. Okay.
I
Will
don't have
we-
anything.
We have a bunch of bidets in chat. Bidet, everyone.
Bidet. And also with you.
And also with you.
And with your spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Will the class packs be available to purchase after the Kickstarter?
Absolutely. So the whole point of this is this a form factor that people are interested in? And the whole point of the Kickstarter is helping us get quantities for a print run. That print run will extend beyond the Kickstarter. And also there's a retailer pledge. Katie, who is working with us on our B2B side for
Katie!
Darrington
Katie!
Press Guild Stores, is going to take over the world. Katie's going to take over the world. My favorite joke these days is, Katie, I need you to stop selling Daggerheart. You're selling it out. So it's going to be available all over the place very, very soon. So
That's great.
Yes.
What will the PDF included in the final class pack look like?
Incredible. You're going to get class-specific PDFs. So it'll be your intro, all of the nuts and bolts of Daggerheart. It's chapter 1, which is your class ancestry community and like onboarding to what the different pieces of the parts of being a player in Daggerheart look like. And then chapter 2 is playing the game. You're also going to get, obviously, all your cards. And the 76th card, the fabled 76th card that's like, what is it? I don't know. It's just a QR code that takes you to that PDF. Everybody on Kickstarter is going to get the full PDF, which is like, I think it's $29.99 or whatever, where we're selling it on, wherever we're selling it on Drive to RPG
all
with
places,
our awesome partners. So you get that as a part of the class pack for being a Kickstarter backer.
Yeah.
The other thing that we're not doing is we are not doing a bunch of different add-ons because we are all also building a lot of other stuff that's going to be coming.
Yeah.
PAX Unplugged, we're going to be able to tell you a lot of what that is. Do we have a Mercer?
Hi, what do we do? What are we doing here?
Come in.
Hi.
Okay.
Hello.
Wee.
Floor time, Travis.
Floor
what do you
time,
got?
I'll take the floor.
Look at it. Look at there you go.
Hey guys.
Congrats, we
Hi.
funded.
Congrats, we funded.
We
I saw
funded.
that. She's
Hi.
Travis, I need to buy you a massage.
Right,
Your shoulders are tight.
Piano strings.
Lockstep. Here, look, I'll give you this one.
What does this do?
We're asking questions. It's your mic.
Oh, hi.
Look, there you are.
Oh, look, this is like a picture-in-a-picture thing.
Hang on, 2
Oh
seconds.
no.
Okay, should
We're
we answer
fixing
another
things.
question that we can while we're here? While you're here?
Yes, live questions, please.
Okay.
Oh, hey guys. How do you feel about Darrington Press's future? How often are things gonna pop out, and do you have any plans?
You're putting a dagger in your heart.
That's what it is. It's very symbolic.
This is dangerous.
How do we feel about
How do
Darrington
you
Press's
feel?
future? Well, so good.
No pressure. We're all in the room.
Listen, we've just only got the most talented people in the world working on this stuff.
Stop.
you.
And the
Keep
art,
going.
and just, I'm a very visual person, and the art is next tier, next level. It's
Yeah.
God tier stuff. It's just
stay in my
so,
office now.
yeah, that stuff. It's just so good.
Yeah. Matt Wilma.
It feels like a very bright future, and it's nice when something is run by the people that love the stuff that they're making so much, and that's just the best indication of leadership. Plus these three, this guy you need a little brushing up.
I know,
a little
I'm working
more
on
work. It's okay. But these three, just absolute monsters. I
That's
love
not funny.
it.
Daggerheart.
Shame on you. Get better at making stuff.
You know I like it.
Psychic damage from saying that.
Listen, I only give very few opportunities to scold Matt and punish him when dice aren't involved. So you
It's
know.
true.
Well, I
respect that.
think it's interesting too, Matt, because we have unique burdens, sort of together, in that like previous to campaign 4, you every week had to go on and make stuff, and everybody would see it like immediately. Right? So there's like this immediacy to the work that you were doing that feels, for me, very scary, and also exciting.
Yeah.
And I think on the book side is when you did this with the other books that you did for Wizards, but like on the book side, it's so much slower,
Yeah.
and that can be really valuable because we have time to be able to like make those changes. and also
It's agony.
It can feel like agony because it's like, no, it's going to take us a year to build this thing, and nobody's going to see it for 9 months until it reaches a state where we can pass it around for some kind of playtesting. So it's like a unique kind of stress, I think, either way.
Absolutely. Yeah, what he said.
Folks are so nice and keep asking for new things
I know.
from us, and we are turning the engines as quickly as we possibly can.
Day 142 today.
142?
Just like-
142.
Daggerheart's been out for 142
Nice
days,
focus.
y'all. This is crazy. Like we were excited about this, but you're always hopeful that things will go well. You never know how the industry goes or how people will be interested in the things you've been killing yourself to get done in time. And the sheer volume of excitement and adoption and community just momentum behind this has far exceeded all of our expectations. And what it has done is unlocked the opportunity to be hard at work on all the really cool things we were hoping we could do with success that we all are now. So we have a lot of cool things and announcements and fun bits to reveal in the future. But for today, the class packs is one of many things that we're really excited about, and also already funded. So that's cool.
Hey Matt, where is the Blood Hunter? Gimme. That's one question.
Oh, yeah.
I will.
That was fun to play.
Oh yeah. I
didn't
will.
get to
I
do
will
everything.
say, keep your eyes on socials and the void soon. Halloween's a creepy time.
It's spooky.
It's a good time for some spooky things. So I don't know. Keep an eye out. We're working.
And folks have been asking, will there be new things in the class packs eventually? And the answer is absolutely. If this is a medium that people like, we want to keep supporting it. So while we are in development for new things, if the class packs, if people continue to enjoy them, one day there could be a Blood Hunter class pack. Knock on everything there is to
Yeah.
knock on.
I'm sure you guys have already covered this, and if not, the purpose of things like the Kickstarter and this is to ensure that there is interest in these things as we're still kind of spearheading the early days of Daggerheart and not wanting to overextend ourselves for something that maybe there wasn't as much of an appetite for. Thankfully, there is. So as we continue with this, all those are very much things we look forward to offering, and it's 140 something days, y'all. We're working.
I keep reminding people.
140? Is that what
142.
142.
Yeah, I think that the main thing for us, I think on the development side, has been like, how do we continue to make exciting things while surviving, but also like, how do we keep making things and putting them out to ensure that people know that we are like so excited for all the things we could make, even though we've been behind the scenes just like building things,
Building our asses off.
Building our
You guys have
asses
been
off.
building your
Cooking.
asses
so
off.
been cooking, and so
Cooking.
class packs is part of also the writing.
Designing.
Math is a part of that. Like, okay, let's explore the different mediums, the different ways in which. There you go. You can have double daggers. The different ways in which we can continue that support, and then expand into places where, like, we don't have a plan. This is not spoiling anything necessarily, but like, how do we put out transformation cards? Right? Like, what do is there a viable way of being able to put out a transformation card pack or whatever? Like, there's different things that we could do that would be in support of the product, that would not just be a full book or something like that. So really, it's about stretching the medium and understanding where people are, where they'll meet us. And just making stuff that you guys like. I saw a question in there that was like, are there chances that there'll be adversary cards or like item cards? And like, there's a chance for so many things.
Oh, yeah.
You just have to know what it is that you all want and what you're excited for. Oh,
That's pretty
man.
cool.
I'm keeping the CEO entertained.
Hey,
Yeah.
since you're eating a skull, what's the best snack for Daggerheart night?
Oh, no. Oh, chocolate and peanut butter.
You had
In
that.
what
What's for you?
form?
I was
Well,
just gonna
So
say
listen,
that.
if you only have like a jar of peanut butter and then like independent Hershey like little not even Dunkin' Kisses, but what are the little ones?
The
called?
chocolate chips?
Yeah.
I would say.
Listen, guys, it's a busy day. Just drop it in there, stir it up a little bit, maybe
That's
a little
true.
Greek yogurt for
No,
some
it's like
protein,
spoon
and then you
and
got
then chip by
good
chip.
stuff.
See-
Oh, that's awesome.
See, me and Mercer are charcuterie Daggerheart people.
Yes.
Or like if you go to your local, like our local Ralph's has like the really cheap, like under $5 cheeses section where they're like tiny little blocks for just one night, and we just like drop $15, get 3 interesting, weird little cheeses, and put up some crackers, and it's a nice display that you get to organize well. That's relatively inexpensive, and it makes your game night feel fancy.
Everything's a charcuterie board if you put it on the same plate.
That's true, technically.
Charcuterie is an adult lunchable for kids that grew up in the 80s and 90s. I have a very important question to answer,
valid.
which is that
It's
these
valid.
cards look
Very
bigger than the core cards. Are these tarot sized? Nuh-uh. They're
Nope.
exactly the same size. They are straight up the poker sized cards. I think it's 2.5 by 3.5 or whatever the dimensions are. I used to know them in centimeters, and that information is no longer in my brain. But they're exactly the same size, dimensions, weight, shape, card stock quality as the regular class cards that you get in.
That would
The
be
regular
so unhinged of us to make standard cards in the book and then release cards that are the same cards, but just like a little
bigger?
that would be
like diabolically.
reprehensible.
Some board games have done that with like mini sizes at times, and you're like, why are things just slightly different?
Reprehensible.
Though tarot card size could be useful for other things.
So that's not
Do you think?
Are there possibilities for other kinds of cards and accessory packs to come out? Are there things like environment or adversary cards in our future?
I'd love that
Yeah.
personally.
I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great idea.
I think it's a great idea.
It's a great idea.
I think people have been saying that for a while, and I think we've thought that's a great idea for a long time.
I will say that's a great idea. Hey,
great idea.
where's the GM screen all caps double
I'm-
exclamation marks?
Working on it. I'm 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 working on it.
They're working on it. They're working
We
on
have
it.
so much that we're cooking, but
Oh.
I actually want to say thank you specifically for all of the love for the GM screen, because I said the only way that we're going to get this made is if every single one of you bombards us every time we talk about any accessories, because we want you to tell us the things that you want, because then I can collect those spreadsheets and go into a room in a meeting and be like, look at all of these hundreds and thousands of people that want this thing. And I've brought screenshots into meetings with data, and
It's happened.
Also,
It's
fear
changing.
tracker when?
there is a prototype of something sitting on my desk
is-
just
oh, I'm
off
so
camera that we
excited.
haven't been able to announce.
It's
Maybe we'll.
truly, if the camera were just a little bit wider.
There are so many secrets just over
Are we
there.
blaming the camera? Is the camera that gets blamed?
Yes.
Impulse control.
The stream is now in
The big
3D.
red button.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
was that again, Travis? I'll be over here if you need anything.
Not the poison tongue dagger, no!
Yeah, there are a lot of accessories that we've been having some really interesting and awesome conversations with in general around. I think that all of this, everything you want, adds 6 to 8 months for manufacturing and shipping, and that's sort of the reality that we're working on in terms of like, we can't just make something and then stream it to you via the internet. Everything has to be physically made, and that takes a lot of time. So it's one of the things that like is added onto all of the dev for this, which is fun. But there are prototypes of a lot of really incredible stuff truly sitting just over there.
I
that
know
we're going to be
working on
talking
it.
about soon.
It's like, okay, gauging the response from Daggerheart. That was first step. Then it's like, what do you want? That's second step. Then it's like prototyping.
Yes.
That's kind of third step,
Yep.
and that's where we are right now.
Yep.
And then there's manufacturing and distribution
Logistics.
and logistics and all of the kinds of things that are required.
You can only talk with
International logistics.
International logistics. There's so many things that are
Maybe that's
required to
fair due.
make products, and also, in particular, to hopefully make them really well, like to make them
Yeah.
work for what we want and have them tested. And so,
Yeah, we have our own very high standards for the kind of things we put out. So
The questions on here are the craziest mix of so legit and insightful and interesting and so chaotic.
checks
Chaos
out.
or legit, guys? What do we want?
Chaos.
Yeah.
chaos.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Yes.
yes.
It's absolutely.
No.
Whoa! What?
No, I'm
Sorry,
sorry.
what?
It's a roll. It's a hot dog.
Am I allowed to
rolled
curse on this
in
stream?
bread.
What the ever living
It's a
fuck?
roll.
What are you talking about?
Fight me.
I will
Would it-
gladly.
could
Tell
it-
me more. Like
Sandwiches are flat.
If I disagree with him, I can still potentially keep my job, right?
Yes, of course.
I can't guarantee that.
About you monster!
Sandwiches are flat. The hot dog has a roll shape. to
I
it.
think you're
What do
all
you call a
wrong.
hokey?
I think a hot dog is a meat pie that was unfinished.
Oh, what are meat pie sandwiches?
a new
No.
challenge.
Meat pie-
here.
No,
Then
hold
was
on.
it
It's a
But
pie.
sandwich or salad?
if you
right?
place salad or sandwich with everything in the world, people are sandwiches, for example. Meat pie, sandwich. Hot dog, sandwich.
Not a salad.
hot dog is a section of an unrealized lasagna.
Welcome to the next 30 minutes of our stream.
Okay, we're gonna go for a legit question.
So sorry, Brooke.
Brooke looks stressed. I'm
Everyone,
so sorry.
guys, Daggerheart is serious.
Serious stuff.
How do you decide when a new domain is warranted? And how will you keep multi-class domain swap builds healthy as the ecosystem grows? Spencer and I, and also Spencer and I and Matt, spend so much time talking about this exact question.
Yeah.
Domain wedge.
Yeah, the domain wedge. I think for me,
$5 cheese at Ralph's.
I'd eat it.
I'd eat it.
I'd eat
Find me
it.
a cheese sponsor. We're gonna partner with the cheese. Find a cheese company. We're making a
To-
cheese.
to-
We have a
clarify-
long list of those already.
Yeah.
To clarify what the domain wedge is.
Oh, thank you, Matt. Yes. Thank you for the foundational
a particular
knowledge.
wonderful document that Elise had constructed that is more or less like a cross graph of all the different domains across each other, where we can see what combinations we've done, which combinations we haven't, and through that wedge we can decide which ones are worth exploring for new classes.
If you tilted the camera just to the side, you would see.
You would see it. But as part of that too, we are constantly coming up with new domain possibilities and writing them and being, we'll maybe deal with this later on. Or this is a cool opportunity in the future to tie in with this thing we're maybe developing. I don't know. I'm not confirming anything. Yeah.
Or denying anything.
Or
You're not
denying
denying
anything.
either.
Well, a huge amount of our work is keeping the game healthy and making
Yes.
sure that it doesn't get bloated, which means we write mechanics on cards and then we cut them and cut them and cut them and cut them until they can't be any more simple and perfect.
Streamlined.
Ideally.
Yeah.
Ideally. So domains, when we add a domain, those are such a huge change to the game and it requires so much playtesting and so much work that it really has to be worth it.
Yeah.
And also has to be able to sit with the rest of the game as like a healthy, cohesive piece of it.
I also think that there's, and you'll read this in the homebrew kit if you go, because that is an area that we put a lot of this writing.
Daggerheart.com/downloads.
But there is a lot of writing there about like why do you build a domain, and ultimately for me, domains are one half of a class. That's the way I think about them, like from a functionality standpoint. They don't really serve any other purpose except for being one half of a class, or a little less than one half, because there's also class features and things. But like
Right.
on the whole, you're combining two domains to make a class, and so I think sometimes it comes from a place of I want to build a necromancer. Okay, I want to build a necromancer.
I want to build a necromancer.
How
Do you
would
want
I?
to build a necromancer?
I wanna build
If
a
all of
We
us
all
want
wanna
to build a necromancer.
So if we want to build, Brooke wants to build a necromancer, we're raising their hand. If they want to build a necromancer, if we all want to build a necromancer, then let's look at the domains that we have currently and figure out if they can be made successfully with those.
Yeah.
And if they can't, then we discuss, okay, a new domain. If we can't satisfy that fantasy through the domains that we currently have, then what would it take to get us there? In the case of something like a vampire, it wasn't a new domain. It was instead a different kind of card. It was a transformation card that allowed you to tack that onto a character, because that way you could be a vampire, ribbit, rogue, right? And so in that case, it's about evaluating, okay, if this is the fantasy, what gets us there? And sometimes the answer is a domain.
I can't wait for you to see Sean's sketches of the vampire ribbit rogue. By the way, they're very, very good.
Yes, the sketches for vampires are incredible.
This excites me.
But I think looking at it like what is required, and then for me, a domain is sort of the biggest step. Can I do it in a subclass? Can I do it in a subclass? Then can I do it in a class, right? Is there another kind of proprietary card, like a transformation card, that could be made use of? And if not, then it's a domain. because domains are huge to build.
Yeah.
And then we have to think about, okay, if I build that domain, the other consideration for me a lot of times is like, if I build that domain, is it useful outside of that class?
Yes,
Exactly.
it can't just be one class specific.
Because then it has to make sense that it pairs with other domains and makes interesting things too. And that's where we sort of get in that space of like, okay, maybe this thing is cool and we want to make it as a domain, but but actually we need to be thinking about something else entirely. Anyway, there's lots of considerations there. I could talk about it for forever.
And we
so
always
sorry
have to
go
remember
on.
that anything that we homebrew is just game design.
Yeah.
Like, we're just designing for Daggerheart, and so there are some decisions that I would make if I were just homebrewing for my own table that I would not ever make for Daggerheart, bigger, badder, whole.
Right, yeah. Because we'll play with stuff and be like, this is really cool for our table, but as far as releasing it as a product, it's not.
High octane.
Yeah, it's not viable, right?
Yeah.
Cheese.
But that's the benefit of the Void too, is we get to take things that do feel strong enough to try out, to throw out there to the public, to mess with, things that get a positive enough response and
Yeah.
we feel gets tailored to the point where it does provide a meaningful addition to the game, then we can consider it for official content down the
Yeah.
road. But not everything that goes to the Void is going to live either. But we want it to be a space where we can experiment, with the understanding that, even we're still going to use pieces of everything that we learn from. So even if something doesn't come through in its final form of what we put in the Void, there are lessons that are brought there and cool ideas that we'll definitely reuse in other places. So it's not like it's just lost and buried forever. But we intentionally made the Void as a place to not just like try out and possibly tease future content, but also just to try things out and see how you guys like it, play with it, run with it, and iterate on it, and give us proper feedback so we can make it the strongest thing it can be. It's really cool.
Yeah, no, we were saying that, and I think it was on a live, weeks ago at this point. We were like, you cannot comprehend the Void. The Void only comprehends you.
There's a question in here that says, you guys seem to be dropping things on a Tuesday. Is there any sort of a cadence or a
Yes.
schedule? There is none.
No,
There is,
no.
The answer
which
is
is
no.
which just sort of has to be it. What that allows us to do is have whimsy in the way that we make any of this stuff work. Like, if there's a schedule, you're going to be getting the quality of designs that happen when they happen on a schedule. I think that people want designs that happen with whimsy, and that's kind of what we've been given permission by you all to do.
Yeah.
And so that will allow us to have a lot of flexibility, and I think that that's going to inevitably be really, really great for us. Again, conversations that are happening now of like, I have a dream of something, and it's like, fantastic, we can make it work because we're on no schedule, right?
Yeah.
We're only on our own, which is really great.
Who keeps arming Travis?
Oh,
This
he
is dangerous.
materializes
Kind of
them
Brooke and me.
himself.
It says,
Innocent.
I have a couple of other.
Very few prerequisites I have in the office, but constant arming.
The other day, Ronan came in and slayed all of leadership with the weapons in here.
I may or may not have told that lovely little child that they were allowed to have any of the weapons at my office without ever asking for permission. You got it,
It
Dad.
was like
why
watching.
would you do that?
Not my kid. Just like I keep telling Laura all the
That
dice that Laura needs. Laura needs so many dice, and I hear in New York there might even be a new ring coming for Laura, and I think that
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
enabling is really powerful.
How are you
Good
doing
for-
with that, by the way? I think watching Ronan kill all of leadership was like, in what was the TV show where the president dies and then the next person in line dies and the next person. I was like, who's in charge of the company now?
I think Ronan just inherited the company.
It's a hostile takeover.
Really interesting question here, which is, will there be a bundle of decks available with a little bit off the top, such as buying all 9 decks and getting a discount? There is. This one's for Darcy specifically. There was supposed to be this morning when the Kickstarter launched, and that was not what the technology decided that it wanted to do this morning. So for anybody who looked at the Kickstarter and saw that there were no pledge levels, I promise you there are now. I promise you there are now. So there is a bundle deal if you want to get one of every kind. There's also going to be a little bit of a race for favorites to see who on the individual class packs wins.
Actually, rogues. Where are my rogues at? You all need to join me and step up because rogue and wizard were
Wizards
tied.
Wizards
And then
winning handily right now.
Wizard is winning by a fair amount. Which I will not accept. Where
I
are my
love all
rogues?
of my children equally.
There you go.
Really?
Rowan does not.
No, of course I don't.
I love it.
Someone just said they're playing an Underborn dwarf Galapa brawler juggernaut with the werewolf transformation.
Wow. So they mixed ancestry dwarf and Galapa?
Yeah.
I love that. So it's very. If anyone remembers, it was one of the later seasons of the old Tick cartoon. There was a character they introduced.
Oh yeah.
It was Baby Boomerangutan.
Yes.
They said like, there's too many themes. You got to get rid of one theme. This character is Baby Boomerangutan, and I'm here for it.
Did I tell you that my husband
excellent.
was Overkill's stunt double for the live action?
No, really?
That was in there, yeah.
That's so
awesome.
cool.
And everybody on there, when I went in and I saw the lobster costume for, I don't remember what that character was, and the fix to get them was like shooting a rubber band gun to get the lobster claws rubber banded. It was the funniest costume
my goodness.
setup I've ever seen in a tailoring
That
shop
live action
before.
Tick on Prime deserved more than it got. It was a good show.
Such good.
All right.
You gonna go be a boss?
Bye.
Thanks for being a boss.
Thank you.
I missed
That was
him.
close.
Goodbye forever, Travis.
Gotta keep those toes.
He's fast.
He's fast.
He's faster than he looks.
I know. It's how he stays alive. One day, Travis. One day.
One day.
Just team up with Ronan.
I think. Wait. I'll think on this. Anyway.
What other questions do we
We've
have?
got a really interesting one. What motivated the free PDF inclusion of the cards? I appreciate it. All of the questions just went away. I'm gonna stop it there because they all went away and now I don't know where else. What incentivized us to include the free PDF? I think one of the things in general, I was saying this right before you guys entered, at scale, like, again, this is Darcy and us and some other incredible folks behind the scenes. We wanted to make sure that we didn't open up an Etsy shop with this Kickstarter. We wanted to make sure that this was like, do you want this product? This is like developmental
You're talking
research.
about like add-ons and like stretch
Yeah,
goals
like
and
a
that kind of
T-shirt
stuff?
and all that stuff. Like I would
yeah.
in future, and there's a bunch of questions in here of like, is this the only Kickstarter you're going to do? Nope. When we are running full campaigns in the future for things, there's going to be a whole different ecosystem. This specifically is serving a very particular need, which is, do people want this? Daggerheart has been flying off the shelves. We've been working on reorders. This is targeted for people who are interested in trying but want to get in at a lower price point, or for people who want to be able to supplement some of their existing Daggerheart cards with a couple of extra things. Or if you're a goblin like me, I'm getting one of everything and I'm sending it to everybody who I want to convince to start playing Daggerheart with me, right?
Yeah.
We didn't want to include a whole bunch of bells and whistles and add-ons and stretch goals and all that stuff, because it just would stop us from building the other things in Daggerheart that we're building right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, everything we add to the plate
Takes
takes something else off the plate.
Yeah.
And so instead of having a bunch of stretch goals that would require us to dev other things specifically for that, it's like, okay, how do we figure out what people want from this, and also what they're like? There's also always the question of like, we see online that people want a specific thing, but how many people actually want that thing? How loud is that? You know, that section, that subsection, and so this kind of approach allows us to test things out. And I think as long as we stay fearless in that, like, we might throw a thing towards all of you and it's not what you wanted, and that's okay. And we have to be okay with experimenting and with figuring out what you want, because the game is so new. We don't want to get caught. For me, I don't want to get caught in just making the same, having the same plan as every other role-playing game, having the same path as every other game, every other board game. You know, like we want to forge our own path, but sometimes that means experimentation, and sometimes it means we don't know how it'll be received.
The thing that Kickstarter does is allows us to figure out how much want there is before we go too far down the line. And not only that, but making sure we're catering toward people who are already engaging with the game, the community that we know and we love and who have sets of Daggerheart, but also new people who might not otherwise get to try the game. And that ecosystem doesn't exist outside of a Kickstarter typed marketplace?
Website? Yeah, marketplace.
Well, I just forgot the word website.
Well, like, we could do
I was about to explain like books but digital.
They're words, but they're online. www. something. Yeah, and we could do a pre-order, but by the time we're doing that, we are already in the manufacturing process, right? This is that early dev, which allows us to sort of get this information. I keep joking that we're kick finishing this product because again, they are these like this stuff already exists.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So we're kick finishing the product to see what the order and print run.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how many are we ordering, right?
What,
Like that's the big
what
question.
do people want, right?
Yeah.
Which is great.
Somebody said, do you view domains as closed forever, or would you potentially one day expand domains by adding powers of domains to better fit new classes?
That's such a good
This is
question.
something that actually Jeremy and I were discussing maybe last week, which is like, for me, and I'd love to hear your takes as well, but for me, my instinct is the answer is no, it's not closed, but adding any additional domain cards to existing domains needs to be done really tactfully, or it could lead to bloat very quickly. I think that there's a consideration of what are we requiring, how many choices are we requiring people to look at a time, and how do we ensure that we aren't giving people, when they level up, like 20 different cards that they need to choose from,
Analysis
especially with
paralysis.
multi-classic.
Yeah.
And you know, maybe there's a world in which that becomes interesting for a certain type of player. But I think for me, the beauty of Daggerheart in its core is like it is streamlined. You make the choices based off of, you have 4 choices of cards. And I don't want to bloat it too quickly. And every card we add as a domain has to be balanced against everything else in the game. How do you, Matt, Rowan, how do you feel about
I mean, kind of in agreement. I don't think it's an impossibility by any means,
No.
but I think we have a lot of immediate excitement and passion for expanding the flavors of what classes and domains and subclasses can offer in that level of customization without having to engage that sort of large-scale expansion.
Yeah.
Mind you, like I said, we'll see how things go in the future
Yes.
based on interest and just our personal creative bandwidth.
Different settings,
Yeah.
different styles of play, maybe different campaign. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff we can
Yeah.
do, but it's going to be. I mean, I think of all the blank space on the domain wedge where there are collaborations between domains that we just haven't built anything for. So
Yeah.
before we expand on the existing domains, there are literally just I think there's 37 uncomputated collaborations between different domains
Yeah.
that make different kinds
Yeah,
of
and with each
classes.
additional new domain that we ever decide
to
to
compute it
include,
against-
that all gets computed again. So it's like, yeah, there are different paths to take in offering more options in the game. This definitely isn't an impossibility and something we've definitely discussed. But at the moment, I think we're more interested in some of the things that we're working on that don't include that.
Yeah. People are also asking about like more subclasses for classes,
Yeah.
which is less lift than designing cards to support to add to domains.
Absolutely.
So that's definitely more feasible just in terms of like timeline, because it doesn't need as much playtesting against other things. But I try to remind myself when people are asking for more, to one, it's amazing excitement. Like to be in a world where people want more of anything that you make is a gift.
Yeah.
And I also think I hear in that people are inspired.
Yeah.
And so I think because Daggerheart is only 142 days old, I think also when folks ask for more, the game designer in me is like, maybe you should homebrew, because I think homebrew is where you start, and then obviously if you want to be a game designer, you can go that way. But homebrew is like for me personally, as someone who's a game designer, homebrew is like one of the best parts of being at a table and collaborating with people. You can come up with things that are customized. And so I think if I wasn't making this game and trying to ensure the health of it, I would definitely be like, here's a new card for each level just for my players. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that what we decide to do as the base game or expansion games, because we have to be official, quote unquote, we can get a little weird with the voice.
Guys, Daggerheart is serious.
So serious. But like what we choose to do with the base game may be slightly different than what people like what takes off in incredible homebrew content. There was a question here of like, what have you been looking at some of the homebrew content that people have been making? Absolutely, and the sassy rewrite of the Highborn card is my absolute favorite. It's
so
like
good.
a Brennan tirade against capitalism, and it's perfect. But yeah, like all that stuff is really great. There's also a question in here that says, will the class packs include errata corrected cards? They sure will.
They sure
and
will.
also, friends and family, foes and fiends, we are working on errata in general right now. We'll be able to share a little bit more of that update. But we have a couple of paths for, in general, as soon as we get them approved, errata is going to be hitting decks.
to make it be able to be easier to
Yeah,
implement.
to both update your old books and to be
And
able to get new books
have
that
new
have
books. Yeah.
updates on them.
Yeah.
Something else that that we've been talking about as well that I think it plays into the conversation we were just having is like, are there things in specific campaign frames?
Yeah. You
Or
guys were just
campaign
talking about one
books,
today that was really
or
cool.
adventure book or setting books or like any sort of expansion content.
We were being crazy today.
Today.
We had
Crazy
crazy
serious.
plans.
I was given a donut. I'm not held responsible for any
True, I
of
brought
my
in
actions.
donuts. Are there specific things that can be built that are only for those campaigns?
Yeah.
Could be used elsewhere, but are specifically like, I want to make this for this campaign. And then you're not expanding core necessarily. You're saying like, hey, if you're playing in this place, here are some communities that tie directly into that place.
Yeah.
Here's an ancestry that ties in directly to that place. And so then you're not requiring people to, it's not a core expansion of Daggerheart, but it's a very specific like setting expansion that still gives you cool cards.
I do think we really set ourselves up for success there, actually. Like, one thing I will thank past us for is making Daggerheart more modular, where you can put different settings and things on it. Sometimes I hate past us. I'm like, I can't believe we used that really amazing word for that
know.
one
Oh my
thing, and now
God.
we can't have it anymore. But I think
or a
one of the-
mechanic, a mechanic that we're like, oh my god, it'd be perfect for this thing, but we already used it.
Yeah.
I know.
But I do think one of the things that I continue to love about Daggerheart is that it's the foundation. We kept paring it back and we kept paring it back so you could build things on top of it. And I think like Umbra's a really good example of that. You built this beautifully messed up world on top of it. People have been asking about Umbra, by the way.
They've been asking a lot about Umbies.
What are they asking about Umbies?
When can we have it? What's going to be in it? What are you doing? What are you excited about?
Give
for
me
it?
Fear Daddy.
I
they
want
said.
it.
Fear Daddy.
Fear Daddy!
Fear Daddy.
We got so long into the stream before bringing up Fear Daddy. I'm so proud of it.
No, we already
No,
did.
we already
talked
did.
about it.
It
was the
haunt
pre-
me to the end of my days, Fear Daddy.
I'm sorry,
boy.
Matt.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I'm not sorry.
I wear it. I wear it proudly.
We're also going to be building Hope Mommy if that makes you feel any better.
I love that. Hope Mommy and Fear Daddy. That's a good. That's a good. Good duality. I'm iterating in my mind on what that will entail, what cool themes and things I could bring into it. I'm definitely putting a little section of my brain space to it. I just have to get past.
A couple of things this week and next week,
Yeah,
specifically between Campaign 4 on Thursday and the New York Live on the 7th of October.
Correct.
Loud.
And then you're all It's not like you're not. It's not like you're not busy. So
No, not at all. It's fine. There's kind of a few things going on. But yes, I'm very much keeping a little section of my brain for it, and I'm slowly expanding it as time gets on. And yeah, we'll have more information to come in the near future.
Very exciting.
Fear father figure.
I love that. Fear Father.
Fear Father is also very good.
I like that.
Fear father. That sounds like Father Christmas, like the Krampus version.
Mother Hope and Father Fear. Very good.
Stay quiet or you'll draw the Fear Father. That goes pretty hard. That goes pretty hard.
really cool.
I ate my vegetables. I won't be calling down Fear Father.
It's very Pratchett coded.
It really is.
It is. Terry would be proud.
I can see my breath. The Fear Father is here. Lock the doors. It's pretty great.
I love that.
Visit you in your sleep, children.
Can we at least get some hints on release dates for more products? Please come to
PAX
PAX U
on
or watch PAX the PAX U.
Matt, you're going to be joining us for PAX.
I will be.
Unplugged
I'll be out there to say hi to everybody at
for
PAX U.
48 hours.
Yeah, it's gonna be rapid turnaround.
I'm
Hey,
so
thank
sorry.
you.
It's fine. I'm happy to be there.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's fine.
No, I'm excited. I wish I had more time, but
No.
but we'll be there to have a lot of fun things to talk about. around that.
Yeah.
We got a
we got
lot
some
that
cool
we're going to be
stuff.
able to be, and there are a couple of fun. There's going to be some fun live elements at PAX Unplugged that
Yeah.
we're noodling on right now, which will be very delightful.
Ooh.
We've also been booking some of our friends. I was just about to cover my mouth around my mic. I have a very exciting guest to tell you who's going to be joining us, which is very
Yeah.
exciting.
And if you tilt the camera, just off
There are
screen.
too many secrets. Don't do it.
It's actually really hard.
I know. I'm always afraid. I'm gonna say one of the other things I see a lot, both on the Reddit and on Discord, and I'm seeing it now here as well, which maybe we touched on a little bit, but I think is worth talking about. Is people are like, yes, class packs or more classes or whatever, but like, well, what we really need are adversaries and environments. And we hear you
got
and
you.
know that has been a huge part of the development. We've dropped some examples of some fun little Easter eggs in the void so that you could see some of the stuff we've been working on. But there's so much that. Are you good? You're
Yeah.
good?
Rowan
He's
needs
figured it out.
to discover that there is a second page to this document.
Yes. There's so much that we haven't shared yet that
I
we
have
will.
known
But
that.
just know that there are adversaries, there are environments that we have that we're working on that will find their way to you in some way, shape, or form soon.
Guys,
Technology is
you
the
just
real
witnessed
Father.
our team dynamic steady under everything, saying really important, useful things. Me, lost, confused, alone. Elise,
Not
coming in to
needing
save
any
me.
verbal ask.
Well-oiled machine.
Are there any plans for adventures, bigger campaigns? How do you feel about organized play? Boy, howdy, do I feel,
feel
positive.
great
I feel
about it.
great.
I
about
love organized play.
I love
yeah.
it. I was talking to you guys early on about like ins to games in general around organized play and the impact that it had. And one of the privileges I think that all of us get to have by being included in any of this is like, I know the things that got me hooked. We have the privilege of being like, well, we can build that roadmap for somebody else, right?
Yeah.
Like the way that organized play got me not only to meet people in my local community, but also made it so that I felt like I had a track to be a GM, right? So things that turn non-players into players, things that turn players into GMs. It's the virtuous triangle.
The Holy Trinity?
It's the Holy Trinity.
The Marys?
Yeah.
I think one of the other things that we've been talking about, and things just take time, and we have lots of conversations, and then it's like, okay, but there are priorities and things we want to get out, and so but one of the big conversations we've had is like, okay, what is actual play for, not actual play,
Organized
what does
play?
organized play, thank you, look like for Daggerheart
Yeah.
in specific? How is it different? How are we approaching it? And for me, the collaborative nature of Daggerheart does introduce such an interesting element to what normal organized play is like, that I really need to sit down with the team and like think about how we can approach it differently, how we can make it feel like it's grown. Jeremy and Chris have been using this, and I love it. How can we grow it in the soil of Daggerheart? And so,
Jeremy.
and so part of that, I think, as well, is supported by these class packs, in that our main focus for them post Kickstarter is, like we talked about, getting people into local game stores. And so if you bring somebody in and they want to play Daggerheart, they can just go grab they want to play Wizard, they go grab a Wizard pack, sit down, and they're playing in their organized play almost immediately. And so we're hoping to set the ground for something like that that could happen in the future by making products now that support that style of interaction.
up and play.
Yeah, pick up
Yeah.
and play.
And game stores have been, again, Katie is just running all of this so incredibly well with our lovely Darrington Press Guild stores. The storefronts, brick and mortar stores, have been such a huge part of what's been sustaining Daggerheart's momentum. and being able to get products in game stores that are going to help support friendly local game stores, staying friendly and local in game stores, like that's huge for us, right?
Absolutely.
And one of the interesting things, and I love that Darcy and I are just texting and chatting as well with Brooke in the document right now. We've got a lot of
conversations happening?
Yeah, there are conversations happening. It's great. Question: are the class packs $25 just for Kickstarter pledge? Are they $25 for beyond? Those are going to be $25 if you pledge with the Kickstarter. You get the full PDF if you pledge on Kickstarter. After that, it's going to be $25 in game stores, online, all over the place. It'll come with the specific intro, Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 sections, with the class-specific info, sections of the PDF. Part of the reason that we want to be able to do that is to be able to give a cookie for folks who are investing now in the class packs. It's a digital cookie. We love getting a digital cookie. And then by the time that gets to retail, friendly local game stores have the ability to sell that at a price point that helps them keep their doors open, right? So that's it's a huge part of there's a lot of conversations about any and all of that math that we have. But it's that price is going to be that price both on Kickstarter and in the future. And again, I know that we're kind of not using Kickstarter in the traditional way that a lot of people build a campaign frame or
That was awesome.
We've been steeped.
That was awesome.
The question above this is, for as hard as you guys are working, please will you take time for self-care? Don't overwork yourself. Love you.
At least I
like
need
that
you
was
to screenshot that and put
appreciate
it
advice
as your
that we don't
phone
follow.
lock screen, please.
Yeah.
I think on
Screen.
the topic of like on the topic of the price point, like I think it's a price that allows them, like you were saying, to be able to sell it at a rate that like we can sell it to them for, and then they can sell it to and make a good amount of money. I think also, I mean, we all know everything's just so expensive now. Manufacturing is more expensive. Logistics are more expensive. Shipping things across the ocean are more expensive. Sourcing paper is so expensive. So I think all of that contributed to like why $25. $25 is the price that we could set it at and not lose money. And make it accessible to everybody. And also make it work for us. Like make there be a reason for us to actually sell it.
Yeah.
So it's a balance. Capitalism's hard, guys.
Capitalism is hard.
It's real hard, yeah.
Okay.
We're doing our best.
I love this question because I also want to ask you, because I don't know your answer, but in a
curious.
similar vein to bloating the number of choices,
yeah.
how are you avoiding power creep, avoiding newer expansions being significantly more playable? Well, one, sometimes we aren't, and we do a not so great job. Like, for example, the first round of communities that went out on the Void more recently were so overpowered.
Beefy.
Because we got too excited. And everybody correctly gave us really good notes to calibrate that down. I think some people were bummed to see them be scaled appropriately.
It's the toughest part of any sort of community-based, unofficial content release.
Broken, yeah.
Well, it's like they're broken. Like, all right, we fixed it. Like, oh, you fixed them, and you're like, whoa, that's what you want. Yeah, it's a tough balance, but it's that's part of what makes the Void and this community interaction to bring the best version forward is great. I'd rather design for what is cool and interesting, and then have to then balance and play test and get it to right place, than to out of the gate carefully make sure it's perfectly balanced at the outset and be less focused on what makes it fun and interesting.
Well, I think that even in the first iteration of all of the classes that are currently on the Void, they were
so strong.
so powerful.
Because it's more fun to start strong.
Yeah, and we had to really sit down. I remember sitting in that room and going like, okay, all of these feel like we're so excited about them and they're really cool, but like we have to make them on par, as best we can, on par with core. And I think that in a collaborative, narrative forward game like Daggerheart, balance is not as, like top of the list as making sure that a thing is interesting and fun, but as something like a war game. Right? In a war game, you really have to make sure that everything is balanced. And balance is a little bit more loose in a story game. Like, is the Syndicate rogue better or the Nightwalker rogue better? Well, I think it depends on who you are.
And what story you're telling.
I love the Syndicate rogue.
Me too.
But you love the Nightwalker. I mean, you love the Syndicate too. But the Nightwalker rogue is like your baby.
My official answer is that they're both equally awesome, but like.
I think that those two are maybe the most stark difference
Yeah.
in our core game, because there were a lot of people in the playtest feedback that were like, Syndicate Rogue is useless.
It's a waste of time.
Right, and I'm like, oh, that's a specific kind of player, and so balance there is not just a numbers game.
Exactly.
And so that makes it more challenging, I think, but also really fun. So to go, what's the balance of this narrative forward mechanic versus this, like, you get more damage? How do we,
Quantify that.
and
Qualify that.
play testing and yeah.
Can't believe I'm going to say this, and I'll have to send this clip to my husband because he's going to be very hysterically proud. When you are drifting a car, if you don't, and when you're learning, if you don't gas enough, you'll never learn how to do a donut because you'll never get your car to lose traction on your back wheels to start. So you plan to overcorrect in a safe environment so that you can start to learn how to correctly control your power.
So
right?
is Daggerheart the car in this metaphor?
Yes.
Are we gonna crash?
Because we're good stunt drivers, and we practice in a safe environment in the void where we can learn to do donuts bad.
I don't know if everybody knows, but
was a really
your
good name.
husband is a
Stuntman.
stuntman.
I
And
crashed the
everyone-
car.
You crashed the car?
I'm sorry.
You crashed the car, but
Hey,
you crashed
honey.
it in the
Honey,
void.
I'm just glad
okay.
you told me that everyone's safe.
Guys, Daggerheart's serious.
Oh, mommy.
No, I don't want to be Hope Mommy.
You heard it from Hope Mommy, friends.
I want to spin fear.
Hey, this is an AMA, so my AMA question is, who is immediately off screen?
That's Brooke.
Get
It's
on screen.
Come say hi, Brooke.
You want to be?
Floor time here.
Floor time.
This is
Hi, Brooke.
This is Brooke.
Say hi, Brooke.
You rules follower.
Okay, if Daggerheart was a sandwich, what kind of sandwich would it be?
A hot dog.
No.
It's not true.
Take it back.
French dip.
We got those Ike's sandwiches
those are really
for
good.
lunch one day at the studio. And I had like the halal, what is it called? The menage a trois. I don't know if you ever had that from Ike's.
Are you saying?
Are you asking if I've ever had a menage a trois?
Are you saying?
I'm not answering this question.
Menage a trois?
No, there's a sandwich that's called a menage a trois
Clip it.
from Ike's.
Spencer said what he said.
That's what it said. And I mean it.
We broke
Matt.
that. Matt, how long do we have you
ever
for
had a
today?
menage a trois?
Too long. Which question am I answering? Continue. Anyway,
That sandwich is so good, and I think about this sandwich all the time. It's on like a crunch Dutch roll. Anyway, that's my
So
Dutch
it's a sandwich you think about all the time.
so
It's a menage a trois.
to
You
quote
know.
menage a
you,
trois I think about all the time.
Spencer, Daggerheart is like a menage a trois.
Sure.
Flip it there.
You can
brought
order
a
it from Ike's.
And you can order it to come to your house.
We are a very professional troupe here.
Daggerheart's so serious.
Our HR office is
I feel
right around
like
the corner.
Literally what behind
Yeah, I'm-
this wall.
I
Sorry,
feel
Megan. I really didn't even think about it before I said it. It's the name of the sandwich.
I feel like Daggerheart is a Bobby. It's like Thanksgiving. It's like all the things that you want from your Thanksgiving leftovers made into a more superior meal the day after you've like had the big event because it just keeps getting better as leftovers as you enjoy it again and again and again.
I like how when you get like they like sit in the gravy and then like the next day.
Gravy, stuffing is always better the day after.
That's true.
So Daggerheart's the potluck sandwich.
Yes.
I
The
dig
oops
that.
all option
Where
sandwich.
everybody brings in something good to share.
Daggerheart is a charcuterie board.
Guys,
and you
Daggerheart
make the
is
sandwich
delicious.
that you want.
Hell yeah.
Oh, are wild cards just for events and special occasions? Or is it something you'd like to expand on in the near future? That's such a solid question. One thing we don't want Daggerheart to be is a like gotcha card pack experience where you have to like buy a bunch of packs and hope that you acquire the mechanic that you want.
We don't want it to be like a trading card game.
No.
Yeah.
But we do want to give goodies for people who
Right.
see us and who
I
have
love
fun.
giving out little
I feel
things.
like you need it.
So I
Yeah.
think right now they're exciting. They started as just like little giveaways that truly were.
This started when we were in delivery for Daggerheart and we were all had no sleep and we needed a dream.
Yeah, and we were like, oh, these are fun little one-offs that we could like hand
You know.
Yeah.
out. And I think that the future of them, I'm open to seeing what the future of them is. For right now, I think our focus on them is like, let's just give some people some cool stuff to use when they see
fun.
us.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
can't
just
think
fun
of
little,
funsies.
just fun little giveaways
Yeah.
that we can do at events and things.
A little
Yeah.
treat.
Yeah, and then we'll see where it goes. If people love them, please let us know because they're our path is forged with you. It's not
clip
alone.
that. Spencer, this
Yeah.
is for you.
Uh-huh,
Feast
sure.
Feast.
Sure.
Why are the flavors sweet, salty, bitter, sour, savory, weird, and not sweet, salty, spicy, sour, savory, strange?
Yeah.
For alliteration.
You know, I had strange instead of weird. It's a great question, and it's funny.
We really have thought about that.
And strange used to be what it was, but bitter was the only one that was a different letter, and spicy didn't quite hit bitter for me because like there are vegetables that are bitter, plants that are bitter, but that I wouldn't categorize that as spicy. So ultimately, in order to make it sound more poetic for me, for my brain, it was like same, different, same, different. Right?
Cadence.
So the cadence was one of the big reasons.
And also the dice size.
There you
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Wait, is that iambic pentameter? Dun, 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 dun,
I don't know.
dun, dun,
No, I
dun,
think
dun.
that maybe
because
4.
iambic is right.
Yeah.
They do.
Nerds.
Right there.
So yes. So actually, the question is valid, and the answer is we thought about it. Okay.
What do you guys want to see for the future of things like the card creator and other digital accessories online for Daggerheart?
I want everything.
Oh no.
What happened?
Matt, your mic is distorting and hurting people's ears, so this
I'm
one's
sorry.
canceled. You can have
No,
this
I'll just.
We'll share.
Okay, I'll hold this
Here you
here.
go, Brooke.
Sorry about my mic, everybody. I
Make
wasn't
it seem
aware.
like you'll know what to do with it.
I got it.
So
Thank you.
there are a couple things at play here for us. One, we have a lot of really fun ideas for what that space could be. And two, things take time and money, and we're contending with
Both.
both. And how do we scale it, especially web development?
Yeah.
It costs money, and we want to pay people what they're worth. We want to pay people fairly, and there's nothing more that we want than to make things that support the game. So know that we are
Cooking.
and there are plans, but also, as with anything, they take time and they take money, and that's going to take us, continuing
been
to
a-
figure out where to put those resources.
But
There've
if
been
you
a-
want to say it loud.
If you want to say it loud.
Yeah, say it loud. And also, another one we've gotten a ton of is, have you looked into print-on-demand services for the card creator? And we are having meetings with some very interesting people in regards to that in the next couple of weeks, which is
Yeah.
very exciting. And again, say it loud, say it a lot. Those are the kinds of things that we can help drive. I mean, we've had so many different developmental conversations about, where do we expand on the card creator front that
Yeah.
helps
Yeah.
continue to make Daggerheart personalizable for anybody who plays, right? And that was
Yeah.
that was one of the big things that you were so at the very early conversations. We were even starting to try to greenlight that as a option for launch. That was one of your make it personal. It will make Daggerheart matter. It was one of the
Yeah.
huge things that you helped us advocate for.
I'm so happy it worked out because I use it a lot.
Yeah, we use it too. We use
It's
it in dev.
so nice.
It's so nice.
It was like I want this for myself, but I also want it to be for everybody. So it's a selfish gift to y'all. Congratulations. No, but it's that's very much kind of a lot of the ethos that we've been building and designing from is the idea of how accessible and how useful can we present things within the scope and scale of what we're capable of doing.
Yeah.
We're still a small team, y'all.
It's literally there's a large mass currently in this room right now that's responsible for a lot of that. Matt, any fun or surprising things that you've learned while running any of the Daggerheart one-shots or any of the Daggerheart games in general, coming from different systems as a game master?
I mean, just still learning to be better at that transition. Old habits are hard to break, and so for me, it's always like watching other people play, watching other GMs and other players go. I continue to learn permission to step out of what was a very stringent system of play engagement that I was used to.
Wow.
Even just the whole process of Age of Umbers, I get to say first season. I think I started that series a very different GM than I ended it in a lot of ways, which was very awesome. And if
It was really cool to watch.
Yeah.
I hope it was invitational to that
That's
degree.
the best compliment ever, also.
I loved watching you fall in love with environments
Oh, yeah.
in real
Environments are
time.
so great.
That was so cool.
Because I didn't get to mess with them too much
Yeah.
when we were doing before the game release,
Yeah.
or even getting towards that point. And for me, who was used to, it's interesting because a lot of the things that Daggerheart helps you do were things that I kind of already did on my own end, just from my own system.
Yeah.
And so I felt like, do I need this?
Yeah.
And the more I embraced it, I was like,
Yeah.
I don't need it, but it's so much better than how I used to do it. So it's
Or
one
it
of-
enables you to, because I feel the same. Where I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I just like I don't need an environment for a marketplace because I can just run a marketplace, and that's true. I can totally just improv a marketplace and it's fine.
Yeah.
But when I sit down and I build an environment for a marketplace, it really makes me evaluate what it is that's unique about this marketplace, how I can put some things in there so that when somebody rolls a success with fear, I can look down and go, what actions have I, like what moves can I make
Exactly.
besides just the standard ones? They're essentially additional GM moves
Yeah.
that are, so I love that we both kind of had a similar experience in that of like, we're discovering that these are tools to be used when they're useful for us and they fall away when they're not.
Yeah.
Right?
Running that level 1 to level 10 game with you and Travis on like speed run that one day. I think we were there for 4 hours. We got to tier 4 environments and it was like, I think I'd messed with a couple to try to force Travis to swap cards from his loadout into his vault. And then immediately pay the stress cost as like trying to a physical manifestation of like holding the idea of yourself together in this space, right? And watching him knowing that like there was a 6 stress card that he was Russian rouletting in his own vault and being like was a delight. And I love watching people discover the kinds of levers that they can pull with environments in particular because it's so unique to the way that Daggerheart has Legos offered to people who want to build stuff.
Absolutely. Yes. The environments have been fantastic. Also, just the permission coming from a comparably old school way of running games, so much of the kind of assumed dynamic between game master and player and the responsibilities inherent to pushing the narrative forward lie so much in the GM's territory, and that was just kind of an assumption that I grew up with and that a lot of people have. In the years since playing other games and then steeping deeply into Daggerheart, learning and continuing to learn how to unlearn that assumption and instead find more opportunities to invite the players to fill in the spaces when normally my instinct would be to do it myself, or the player's instinct to wait for me to fill it.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
Well, and there's some really interesting stuff that I saw too that happens less in real time, but and it's still GM prep, but it's just different GM prep that I found in these kinds of games, which is like normally I would sit down and prep what a campaign is, and then I would invite my players to come play in that campaign that I've prepped. And the more I started moving towards narrative focused systems, so Forge in the Dark or Power of the Apocalypse or Belonging Outside Belonging or any of those kinds of things, the more my campaigns started being about having a session 0 with the players, discussing what they were interested in, having them give me things, me taking all of that back, bringing the things that I'm the most interested in as well, not ignoring the things that I want, but like figuring out where the stuff I'm excited for almost on equal level sits on the stuff they're excited sits with the stuff they're
Having it
excited
all
for.
meet.
Yeah, having it all meet and then going like, okay, this place that this person created, I can now flush out. I can do my prep using their prompt. And now all of a sudden we are in conversation above board in a way that like, if I had just made this place on its own, that person wouldn't, that player, not even the character, but like the player themselves, wouldn't have the same buy-in for the kind of story that we're telling.
Yeah, I find one of the things that I'm learning to, since most of my games are on some element of a time limit, whether it be flexible or in the cases of like one-shots, live shows, charity games where I have people's schedules to consider, it's easier sometimes for me to fall back on running some of the narrative quickly to keep things going.
Oh, sure.
But one of the things that I want, that I'm actively noting to myself is to remind myself to ask players to describe how they fail. Not let them describe their own consequences.
Yeah.
Let them take the baton if they roll a failure with fear and be like, and how do you fail in this instance?
I love that.
And I, it's just fighting that instinct of learned behavior over 30 years. So, but yeah, that's what I love about it. And maybe the first and the seventh time for me to express I'm still learning this as we go because, from my perspective, I hope to think I represent the player who's been playing a certain type of game for so long. And I'm by no means a predominant example of the finest GM for the system ever. I'm just one of many, and my journey hopefully can resonate with some people as they fall in love with this game in the way that I have.
Thank you.
I love that.
Yeah, one of the things that we were just talking about, and then we were talking with you about, that we are excited to audition as a thing.
I
You
want
want
to
to talk
do
about
this so bad.
Okay.
No, you got
Okay.
to go.
So, and Matt, if you want to come join us for all of your free time, but one of the things that we love to do is we'll sit and watch a TV show, and we will analyze as we're watching it how that scene would have played out in Daggerheart. Meaning, in a fight scene for we were talking about Blue-Eyed Samurai just recently, which is incredible. If you haven't watched it, you should watch it. There's some that might be one of the ones that we lead with if we do this series. But sitting down and looking at a fight scene and having those sequences play out and stopping it and going, okay, this is a success with fear, and then this is a failure with fear. This is a failure with hope.
Brilliant, honestly.
Awesome.
That was a Guardian going unstoppable,
Right.
and this is where it drops.
Well,
Right,
Usually
and this
we-
is the GM spending fear to
Yeah.
have a thing
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah,
right?
usually we just break down the GM moves and the hope and the fear of it all. And when we're watching TV, we'll go, oh, that was a success with fear. And we don't even stop it. We're just still going. But in particular with Blue-Eyed Samurai, we broke down that the really amazing section where she's storming the castle.
Yes.
It's
good.
action roll after action roll.
You mean
It's
you baby
so
girl
good.
going, should I have been counting?
Yes, it's so good. So if folks want
Yes, so that might be one of the first
see
ones
that.
that we do because we did it casually once, so we could go back and do it again and really break it down. But I think it's worth looking at things like, you could go to something like Dune
Yeah.
and do it. You could do something like, I don't know, The Legends of Vox Machina. You do Mighty Nine Season 1. Thank you, Dune. But the other thing that's interesting to me is not just fight sequences. How do you take a scene in a social
Game of
situation in a
Thrones.
Game of Thrones and
Yeah.
break that down to okay, what is a success with fear? What is a failure with hope? What's a failure with fear? What's a critical success look like? And how are we watching it play out? Because I think that one of the things that I watch people coming to systems where every time you roll the dice, the situation changes, I watch them sometimes struggle with, is they're afraid to roll the dice because they don't want something bad to happen. Because there's always something that changes. It could be good or it could be bad, but there's never
stagnation.
never stagnation. And
Yeah.
the important thing for me is that we show that storytelling is about that back and forth. That is what drives drama. And so if we're using this as a system to create story, then rolling and failing, or rolling and succeeding but having there be a consequence from that success, is absolutely crucial to that story being compelling.
And I can imagine that makes it so much. I can see the way where my brain would be like, oh, I'm going to start looking at media in ways where I go, oh, I can have that be the kind of failure with fear,
yeah.
or I can have that be the kind of failure with hope. It actually informs you both as a player and a GM what your options are, because you're actually starting to steep yourself in that language.
I was watching Dragon Prince, and there was a really great sequence in there in the pilot episode where there were 3 or 4 successes with fear back to back to back. And I was like, oh my God, all of those are such great consequences for that person getting what they want, but also something else happening in the meantime that would be great for people who aren't used to the system to be able to store in their brains for when their players are in fight sequences.
This is actually something we did when we were working on Candela.
Yeah.
We were watching TV and we were going mixed success, full success, but also we were naming when people fail forward. So I think it's a really useful tool for a lot of
In
games.
general, yeah.
But I think because people have set, moving over into Daggerheart, some people have said, I'm not sure what lever to pull when it's a failure with hope or a success with fear. That's something that I'm really interested
But I can see, I look at any Charlie Chaplin movie and I'm like, that is a character built entirely on failure with hope.
Yeah.
Will
right?
you build that character?
I'm now thinking about what would a character who their whole jam is that they do best when they are failing with hope. Like that's what a cool way of looking at what success looks like based on like movie tropes and story beats and how that, because that's
Failing forward.
and that failure is something that is so compelling in that kind of movie, or like a Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Jack Sparrow is like, that is a character who's only ever failed with hope most of their life, right?
Yeah.
Give them the experience like falling with style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
And to your point earlier about the instinctual fear of like I am afraid to roll because there could be consequences. That instinct, I know it comes from a place of either playing games where the stakes were so high and like cut to have severe consequences. Daggerheart by design is collaborative to where the GM should be fans of you as players and your characters. The punishment should be meted out in a way that is equal to how eager you are to face those consequences. And that's part of the conversation as it goes. At no point is the more interesting choice to not roll.
Yes.
And so if that instinct is there to be like, I don't know if I should, that's exactly when you should. Because whatever happens, it's going to make it memorable and more interesting than if you hadn't.
Send it.
Players always have to be the character that goes into the basement in the horror movie. When everybody is screaming like, no! You still have to go into the basement.
Yeah.
That's your job.
You can be tactically sound still,
Totally.
but just that tactically sound conversation still should lead to a proactive choice that leads to a possibility of consequence, because that is what makes good stories.
Yeah.
Brooke,
Yes.
you've done the research. You're the expert in the room.
Oh no.
Officially, chat demands. What is the sexiest adversary?
I see. So I've done a lot of research on this. So statistically speaking, I have pulled stats for this.
Oh, no.
Statistically, most people did lay the Gorgon.
Yeah.
Baby girl.
Yeah.
But everyone laid the Demon of Avarice. Every single person. So statistically speaking, the Demon of Avarice is in fact the sexiest adversary.
Incredible.
These are the numbers that you come for. This is science. This is math.
Daggerheart is a menage a trois.
What did I do?
Boy, there's no escape.
We're probably coming up on the last 10 minutes. Matt, we
Yeah.
got you for so much longer than we thought you were.
This
gonna
went by
be.
so fast.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for letting me crash the space.
Yeah.
We're currently at over $120,000 on the Kickstarter, which means that class packs are just going to be a thing. 121, 669. Nice.
Nice. Who's Who's in the lead?
Oh, hold please.
Yeah.
Hold please.
Someone said, is there a plan to develop a campaign setting, like a world with additional campaign frames inside? The possibilities are endless. Come to PAX U, we'll give you or watch the PAX U panel if you aren't able to come.
Yeah, we may have
and
already
we'll
teased a
give
few
you.
things.
Yeah, we'll give you what we're thinking for the future.
Gotta find it on my desk.
Someone
keep
said,
going.
are you annoyed the domain circles know more with the void content? And for me, the domain circle was a great way of representing for the core book how those classes
It's
are
also
made.
going to look sick on a jacket when we get merch.
It is, but I also never wanted that circle to mean that we couldn't keep making awesome things.
Yeah.
100%.
And so it was really about like, how do we convey in core Daggerheart the way in which all of these domains play, and then as we expand, how do we use that opportunity to be able to show what could be, what is possible outside of core, right? Always like outside of core, not instead of, not, yeah. What's up? Where do we land?
Ask and ye shall receive. Rogue and wizard are tied.
Hey. Life is beautiful. Life is beautiful.
Thank you. I asked for the rogues to show up, and the rogues showed up.
Where my druids at?
Sorry.
Is that?
Damn it! Now Drew's gonna win.
It's right here, Matt.
Yeah.
It's baby boy.
I love Rangers. That's my. Okay, someone also said, who came up with the Gobstalker stat block, and did this person get the raise they deserve? That would be Rob. Rob is in
Rob's
the other
amazing.
room right out there, and is brilliant. Was actually the very first person on Daggerheart with me back in the day, and then had a child. And
That child is perfect.
That child's perfect. And
child.
she's our child now.
She's our mascot.
But Rob stepped away for a little bit to have a child, to raise a child. And then earlier this year was like, hey, can I come back and do Daggerheart stuff? And I was like, Rob, I want nothing more than for you to come back and do Daggerheart stuff. So Rob has been working his ass off. And is the person who's responsible for Gupstalker and many other things.
I had a quick thought based on the previous question you're talking about the domain circle.
Yeah, please.
Because the domain circle as a mechanical representation of these different sources of power that make up the classes, they aren't necessarily ingrained as lore-centric power sources officially. But if you wanted to incorporate that into a setting or a campaign frame that you're running with, in which the blade domain is an actual source of power, and all these things have are ingrained in the world setting as, things that you draw from in a very meaningful and physical manner, then that's just the two-dimensional representation of the core circle. Anything beyond that domain-wise is when you take something that's two-dimensional and consider the third-dimensional shadows that kind of are cast out from it.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I love that.
I also love the idea, and I feel like I've done this with my own work too, where it's like, I'm okay that at the moment that Daggerheart launched in its core, that was the perfect encapsulation of the totality of the universe of Daggerheart. And it can be a perfect object as it is. And if we don't people were like drawing triangles and adding like other things and like expanding the shape. And it's like, that it's over there. And it's if we do another piece of art, we'll do another piece of art. And if we don't, it is a perfect object as like a stasis moment for when we launch Daggerheart core. Like that's a time capsule.
Yeah,
right? In a really cool way.
Dissonance that Spencer and I struggle with when we design, we talk about this a lot, is that one of the great things about TTRPGs is that they're ephemeral. And they only live in that one moment. And making a book for a TTRPG is not ephemeral. And so there is a little bit of push and pull there in allowing things to live in a moment. Because as soon as we had Daggerheart, as soon as we sent Daggerheart to print, we had notes on what we wanted to improve upon Daggerheart before, really. But there was never a moment where it was stuck in perpetuity. Yeah. It was always kind of just locked in time, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Another question, while we still have time, that I think is quite funny. I have a conspiracy theory.
The void? You can't talk about the void.
No. It's not about that. I have a conspiracy theory that all the card having things are in multiples of 9. Is this intentional or a coincidence? Will you continue to have cards in multiples of 9? Okay, so
9.
Here's the real answer. Here's the true answer of why things are in 9s. Because whenever
threatening the audience.
Whenever I build, when I first built the prototype for this 4 years ago. And whenever I build games that are card-based, have some sort of card element, I build them in 9s because I started building role-playing games and board games and stuff where I was having to cut and finish the projects on my own, just like for fun. I would take them out. It was super low, technology to get there. 9 is how many cards fit on one
8
sheet
half
of
at
paper.
11 by paper. It's also how many cards go in one page of a card binder.
But for the design side, it's like, okay, you design things in 9s and 18s because when you get those manufactured, they're in usually 18 card sheets. So everything is kind of in 9s and 18s. Now you'll also see 3s, 6s, and 12s all through Daggerheart.
Yes.
And that very specifically is us going, okay, what are the numbers that Daggerheart uses? And then making everything as best we can, matching those numbers. So they're kind of in iterations of 3s all the way up the line, 3, 6, 9, 12. So you'll continue to see that.
We talk about that so much. With all games, when a game has multiples, like Triangle Agency.
Yeah.
Works in 3s all the time. Beautiful. Chef's kiss.
Yeah.
We're always trying to understand the numbers of the game and keep designing even narrative, like questions to that total.
So there is purpose behind why things have numbers, but the 9 number specifically is because of manufacturing. For me, when I started making stuff and I was like, I don't want to waste any space. I want it to be home manufacturing. It's like I'm printing out 2 sheets and that's 18 cards and I'm ready to go. And now my brain just makes things in 9s and 18s when they're cards.
That's great.
Then why 10 levels and not 12?
I didn't ask it. I didn't ask it. I'm going to have everybody know that I wasn't the one who asked it. But why 10 levels and not 12?
You know, I think that making 10 levels was for me One, I think that there's 12 levels would have meant even more cards.
Yep.
I also think that we're kind of base 10. I think that 12 levels was something that was considered when was a little more obvious when we had the duality dice as the dice mechanic, but that wasn't always the dice mechanic for Daggerheart.
That came later.
That came later. It used to be an entirely different dice mechanic at the beginning, and that kind of developed out of playtesting. And so I also think that understanding for people that are coming from something like D&D or Pathfinder, that we are cutting everything in half, so everything is kind of, it's 1 to 10 instead of 1 to 20. And then on top of that, I find that most of the people I know who have played campaigns have never really gone further than 10 levels from where they began to where they ended, with a few exceptions. And so honing in on what are the most viable, important levels of advancement that I want to see. I want us to start with them being around level 2 or 3 in other
Comparatively,
fantasy
yep.
systems, and I want them to move up to being about 12 or 13, maybe 15 in other systems. And so
And
that's
for
how that was
anybody who
born.
participated in our Break It campaign during the open beta, you know that at level 10, you can kill a god in Daggerheart, right? Like level 10 is on par with some world-shattering abilities. It's incredible.
But to illustrate how serious we are about integrating the numbers throughout the game, Spencer and I, for a while, tried to develop a base 6 numeric number system for ancient Farron people. We were like, oh, we can take this too far. It was not the right answer.
It was in circles and dashes and lines, and
remember that.
it was going to be like on the wall. Anyway, yeah. For Candela, it was like making an entire numerical system that
So we
ended up
learned a
getting rid
lot,
of.
and by the time we had Daggerheart, we didn't need to make a new number system.
We made a different writing system. You
Yeah.
can find them on the board. Have you ever seen the number system that those kids developed?
Oh, it's so
Remember that
cool.
one? Have you ever seen this?
No.
I'll send it to you. So there's this really interesting number system that I think it was developed by like a group of children in a class or something, but it is so intuitive.
so beautiful.
It's so beautiful, and it uses, I think it's base 5 or maybe base 10, but anyway, I'll find it. I'll put it somewhere, but
put it in the
I'll
Reddit.
send it to you.
Yeah, I wanna
put it in the
see
Reddit or whatever. But it is one of the most beautiful, brilliant language systems. And when we were making things like like code and motherboard,
Yeah.
those are the thoughts of like, how do we make this something that looks and feels really unique, but once you learn it, you're like, oh yeah, I know exactly what that is. Anyway, I love language. I love
I think this is our time. Do you
Yeah?
guys want to leave everybody with any last little...
What if we just all get up and let the camera roll indefinitely?
Well, should we have the credit roll? Smash cut to the credits and we just roll screen?
Wait, can we do that?
What credits?
Brooke, you could do that, right?
Was I supposed to?
No.
A paper scroll just rises and I slowly hand crank credits.
Pretty impressive, actually.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, do we have
love
any last things? I mean, thank you so much to everybody who's backed so far. If you're interested and if this is a product that appeals to you, please go back. If it's not a product for you, then no harm, no foul.
And
like, I
also
think
we
that's the
have-
big thing for us is like we want to see who this is exciting
We
for.
have more copies of Daggerheart arriving in regions all around the globe,
Yeah.
truly daily. Our logistics folks and our team with Allie and everybody at Katie at our GM is like, everybody's working really hard to make the
Yeah.
logistics work, right? So there are copies of Daggerheart going all over the world and getting back into friendly local game stores, etc. We're trying to explore what this is going to look like
Yeah.
to reach other kinds of folks that have another need for Daggerheart beyond just the base game. And we're really excited to be here funded within the first 10 hours.
I think to build on that as well, just giving a shout out to everybody who's working either in this building or remotely, who has put so much effort behind Daggerheart as a whole, not just the class packs, but
Yep.
like everything that has been made here. There are so many people who have just worked their ass off. There's people in the room next to us who are still working their ass off. Well, we're here having fun with you, and I couldn't be more thankful for everybody busting their ass to make this game. And know that we hear you, and we're here and we're listening, and we want to keep making stuff for you, and we're just getting started. So thanks for bearing with us
Got
and figure
'em.
out what the next stages of Daggerheart look like with you. Anything else? Anybody else?
Thanks for coming with us, Matt.
Oh,
This is
happy to
really
be
nice to
here.
be here.
No,
You were here for so long.
I don't get a chance to hang out as much as I'd like.
This is so nice.
Happy to just chill for a bit. No, thank you all so much for supporting this game made by amazing people. We have so much to talk about in the near future, so keep eyes on socials, keep eyes on PAX U, keep eyes on the Void.
Maybe sooner rather than later for the Void.
Yeah, a lot of fun stuff coming up. So just be aware.
And also later rather than sooner in some cases. So
Yeah.
have patience as we
Yeah.
both are true.
Yeah, it's great.
That
Last
it?
thing.
Do you want me?
Cool.
Thank you to Brooke for helping
Yeah.
put this all
Brooke.
together. Brooke's amazing.
And thanks for everybody who joined.
Yeah.
Well, if you like the idea of watching movies with us while we talk about how it could Daggerheart, how it do Daggerheart.
Make druids win.
We can do
Oh,
Start a war. I am still working very frequently to try to see if there are different ways and spaces that we all can do other sit-down chat hangs like this with you all beautiful people in the community. Because I think there's just a lot of cool. I mean, I'm sitting here going like, wow, Spencer's got a lot. Wow, Matt and Rowan have like some cool things to. Oh, I need to be looking at questions. So I think that if I have that reaction, probably a lot of other people do too. And so we can do. I know. Oh, so we can do more with that soon. Again, say things that you want loud. Appreciate everybody who's had a voice in this and letting us know their feedback as we explore all this. Thanks
We'll
for
see you soon.
coming.
Appreciate y'all.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.